Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and there's a film in theaters right this minute called The Long Walk. It's a Stephen King adaptation. It's incredible. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And I am joined today by one of the stars of the film who plays Rank. Daymon Wrightly is here. Daymon, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. Just such an incredible film. I was blown away by the performances and just how emotional it was. That was something I was not expecting when I went into it. But you were just telling me before we started recording, you saw it for the first time Friday. What was that experience like getting to see it for the first time?
God, it felt like almost religious in a way. I've been acting since I was 12 years old, but this was my first film role. So like all that work, just the 11 years of working towards that and then finally seeing it on the big screen just blew me away. And like even outside of my involvement in the film, it's just fantastic. The cast, the crew, the direction, and like the special effects specifically, like it's a very visceral film. Like they don't really pull any punches in the fact that they managed to make such a beautiful movie while still being like so raw.
I
Just
completely
oh
agree. So good. For people who haven't had a chance to either read the book yet or see the film, can you just describe your character a little bit of Rink?
yeah. So Rank is a very meek boy, filled with a lot of very nervous energy, um, and very easily like bullied. I'd say like he's an easy target, which the movie and the book make very clear uh, with the scenes that he's involved in specifically.
Yeah, I was rooting for you. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't had a chance to experience it for themselves yet. But you mentioned this is your first film role. You've been working towards this goal for a long time. Can you walk me through the audition process for this film?
Yeah, so I'm not a very typical story. I went to college for acting, and my acting professor is also a writer and a director for theater. So he wrote and directed a adaptation of Three Musketeers, and he cast me as King Louis in that, who played and he got me to play in most scenes directly opposite his agent, who is one of his friends. So the entire time I was acting, this agent was watching me perform, and he was like, "Oh man, like this kid can act." So I got offered a spot in an agency without having to do like any of the like self-submitting or any of that. So really the auditioning process was just my agent texted me like, "Hey, there's a Stephen King movie. They want you to do this self-tape. You have to read these sides, and then they're going to get you to write your own monologue and do a little bit of like physical activity and then send all that in." So I did one audition for a separate character, and then a few weeks later, my agent sent me another one for rank, and I sent that one in. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a text saying that I got it.
Oh, that is incredible. How did your friends and family react when they found out that you got the role?
My my mom cried.
Oh.
I remember the moment so vividly. I got the text from my agent, and like my little brother was sitting on the edge of my bed, and I just screamed. And he thought like one of my friends just gave me some bad news or something. And I was like, "No, I'm in a Stephen King movie." And I
Oh.
ran downstairs and I told my mom, and like everyone is freaking out. I was calling my friends, and they're like, there was always that split second after I told them where they're like, "Is he lying? Like, is he playing a prank on me?" But no, like just pure excitement from everyone that I got to tell.
That is incredible. I know you mentioned you saw it for the first time on Friday, but did you do anything extra special to celebrate the release this weekend?
Not this weekend. I've been spending a little bit of this paycheck. There's a wrestling show in Toronto. I'm a big professional wrestling fan, so next
Oh,
weekend going to that with my little brother to celebrate the
oh, that'll
release.
be awesome. Yeah, that sounds like
Oh
a
yeah,
perfect way to celebrate.
yeah.
Um, One of the things I found like fascinating about this film is that it actually shot on location. It was actually you guys walking. hundreds of miles by the end of this. I was talking to Garrett the other day, and he was telling me by the
Yeah.
end of this, it was hundreds of miles, and that blew my mind. And I think it's so special because a lot of films today would be shot in a soundstage, and it wouldn't really be out on the streets. Can you talk a little bit about how that was filming it on location?
I was genuinely shocked when I got there. I was like, okay, they're going to be a sound stage. We're going to have like treadmills, or we're going to be like fake walking. And then the first day, they're like, nope, random street out in the middle of nowhere in Manitoba, walk. And I was like, oh, okay. Um, it was a lot of like, so weather in Manitoba. Uh, I'm Canadian. We call it winter peg because it gets freezing cold
Oh my
over
gosh.
there. So, like, I'm lucky enough I didn't have to work any night shoots.
Hmm.
I guess that's a bit of a spoiler.
Yeah.
Uh, but the day shoots were incredibly hot and the night shoots were very cold. But it adds to the movie, I think, that the actors were kind of forced to feel the same conditions as the walkers in the film would.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that because it just translates on screen, and I think it's incredible that it was filmed this way. So I'm very happy to hear that. Other than The Long Walk, do you have another favorite Stephen King adaptation or book, either one?
I I've been a huge fan of The Shining for years. Horror was like really my first love of like a film genre. And The Shining, I think, is just almost a perfect example of a horror movie. And I know Stephen King up until recently wasn't the biggest fan of that adaptation,
Mhm.
but like, listen, I can't. I'm not going to argue with Kubrick, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a great one.
Mhm.
And then I was also curious, do you have a favorite memory from your time on set with the rest of the group?
Oh God, there's so many. Uh, Garrett, talking with Garrett,
Mhm.
on the we shot the Majors monologue over the course of I think 3 or 4 days, and a lot of that for the walkers was just sitting and waiting as they got like the shots of Garrity pulling up, or they got the shots of the Major pulling up, and all the speech and all that. So there was just a lot of sitting around and waiting, and I was sat next to Garrett the entire time. And in between takes, we would talk, we'd play games, we bonded a lot over comic books and movies, and just like getting to, and like he's been doing this forever and he's so experienced, so getting to sit next to someone so talented and so like kind and helpful on my first film role, he made sure that like I was comfortable, that I knew like everything well in advance. Like, just such a super stand up dude.
Oh, that is very sweet. That's very nice to hear. Yeah, it was very apparent on screen that everyone had such good chemistry, and I really think, just the fact that everyone was around the same age group and everyone got along, like it just really helped sell the story, and then helped you even more root for the boys and be sad as
Mm-hmm.
they were, picked off one by one.
For sure.
When you got the role, had you already read The Long Walk, or did you read it after you were cast in this?
Before I got the role, I hadn't even heard of The Long Walk.
Oh, okay, okay.
So after the first, with the first audition, my agent told me you should read the book, and I was like, I don't, I don't know. So I didn't read it before the first audition, but when the second audition came in, I went, okay, I kind of have to now. Like, I'm in a little too deep. So I read it before my audition for Rank. I found a copy online, and then in the week between that audition and learning that I got the part, I went to a couple bookstores, and every time I went, the person I was with was like, "You should probably get a copy of The Long Walk." And I was like, "I'll get it if I get the part. Like, if I get the part, I'll put the money in and I'll buy the book." Uh, and then I got the announcement, and then like 4 or 5 days later, I was on a plane and I didn't get a chance to
Oh
buy
my
the book.
gosh. That is crazy. Yeah, I know they
Mhm.
did make a few changes. For example, it was 100 boys in the novel, but in the
Yeah,
movie it's 50. And I think that makes so much sense to me because if you had 100, the movie would be 4 hours long and you wouldn't get the
yeah.
time to relate to all the characters and you wouldn't get, emotionally attached to them. So I think cutting it from 100 to 50 was really good. And then I do know also the 4 miles per hour in the book. was changed to 3 miles per hour
Yes.
in the movie, and I think that works a lot
Thank you.
better too.
Thank you, JT. I'm pretty sure I've read that that was a request from Stephen King himself
Mhm.
to lower that limit because he had no idea how fast that was when he wrote it.
Yeah.
Uh, 3 miles per hour while we were walking got to be a bit much at times. So I cannot imagine having to do four.
Yeah, no, the four, and then also like with all the camera equipment and having, it would just be, it would be too hard, I think. So three
Yeah,
miles per hour with 50, I think that's the perfect way to do this.
for
But I
sure.
have a feeling this is going to be a breakout role for you. So I'm curious
Thank
if
you.
you were given the opportunity to pick your next role, is there a dream role out there or a dream character out there for you that you would want to play?
For sure. Um, I'm trying not to get too niche with it. I'm a big comic book fan.
Mhm.
I know the Marvel movies are moving towards the X-Men and the mutants. I would love to play Toad
Oh,
from the
wow.
Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I think he's such like a fun weirdo character, and I would love the opportunity to. One of my favorite parts of working on the long walk was like the makeup. We got to do like blood and stuff like that, and as a horror fan, I love that. I
Mhm.
would love to get to do like a big prosthetic tongue or like the sickly green shade of skin that Toad has. Just absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. I would love to see that happen. So we're putting that out there into the universe when they're
Yeah,
casting for
manifest
Toad.
that.
Yes, exactly. I agree. But Damon, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to be here. If people want to follow you and keep up with your upcoming projects, where would be a good place for them to come and follow you?
Instagram is my main one. I'm pretty sure it's it underscore Daymon, Daymon.
Awesome.
Other than that, I'm kind of off the grid.
Oh my gosh, no, I don't blame you. But thank you again so much for being here and congratulations on the release of the film. Everybody be sure to go check out The Long Walk, which is in theaters now.
Go watch it.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.